People, what's happening? Randall J here with some more coherent drivel. Okay, it's time to explain how the universe works in its entirety, okay? My theory is called the popcorn universe theory, and a big part of it is my exponential gravity theory. Like, okay, let's start where we're at right now. At the center of every galaxy, there's a black hole, okay? And, every galaxy is like water going down the drain, the spiral pattern. And the black hole, every time it eats something, it gains more gravitational pull, and so it can reach out further. Its pull reaches out further, and it can grab a little bit more stuff and a little bit more stuff, so it gets stronger and stronger. And eventually, the whole entire galaxy and every other galaxy will fall into the supermassive black hole at the center of each galaxy. Okay, now the exponential gravity theory is simply if you drop a marshmallow into a black hole and it disintegrates down to a subatomic level, and it is my belief that the marshmallow, once it comes apart, that the neutrons from the marshmallow weigh more than the original marshmallow. And I would like some scientists, some physicists, to check on that for me, because I don't know if that's true. I think it's true. It feels right. Okay, so everything's fallen into the black hole, and what is a black hole? Everybody's like, what is a black hole? Well, let me tell you. Okay, it's not a wormhole. You don't come out the other side. There's not a white hole on the other side. You don't get to time travel into some other dimension. No, bullshit. It's just like a trash compactor, right? Okay? Everything falls in there. Everything comes apart. Everything turns to plasma, comes apart. And the neutrons stick in the middle. See, and we know what's in the middle. It's not a singularity. That's a mathematical, faux pas. I mean, math only goes so far. Math is very good. We need math, but it doesn't work in the middle of a black hole. But what's in the middle of a black hole, we already know. And it's called a neutron star. Yeah, a neutron star. If you put a neutron star on a teaspoon, like it weighs like 100 million tons or something, just all a spoonful of neutrons. Okay, so all a black hole is you take a neutron star that's on the verge of bending light, sucking light in, and you add another, couple million tons or something in there, and now it has enough gravity to bend light. Boom. All of a sudden you can't see it anymore. It's a black hole. Okay? So inside of a black hole is something very similar to a neutron star. It may be a little more compact, of course. The more gravity, the more compact. But it doesn't go down to some infinitesimal, what do you call that? Yeah. No. It's a big ball of neutrons in the middle of a black hole, which, when everything that goes in there, it gets bigger. And if I'm correct about my exponential gravity theory, not only does it gain gravity with everything that falls in there, it kind of gains it exponentially. Because remember, neutrons, once atoms, once everything's stripped away, like from the marshmallow, I think the neutrons from the marshmallow are heavier than the actual marshmallow. Whether that's correct or incorrect, I think it is correct. It doesn't matter. Black holes do get stronger with everything that's put in them, okay? So, there's this guy, this old man, I forget his name, old scientist. He talked about light fatigue, which I like. because now with the James Webb Telescope, we got this problem. They're looking out to the edge of the universe, and there's fully formed galaxies, and they're only like 300 million years old. And that doesn't make sense. It's everybody's questioning the Big Bang theory and all that stuff. And this stuff, I've been thinking about this. I thought about this 20 years ago, but I just got on YouTube recently. So I'm just getting started. So, how is that possible that there's fully formed galaxies at the edge of the universe? And see, light fatigue, makes sense to me. And what light fatigue would do was it would throw off our calculations on how old the universe is. Because, if that light has traveled 14 billion years, it might have a little fatigue. It might have some fatigue, which makes sense to me. I mean, why not? Energy dissipates. It doesn't stay constant. It doesn't make sense. So, okay, light fatigue might have something to do with it. However, so all these black holes eat up all these galaxies, and then and they say the universe is expanding, but because of light fatigue, those numbers might not be exact. Like, maybe it's not expanding quite as fast as we think it is. So the black holes, especially if my exponential gravity theory is correct, then the black holes not only gain the mass of each galaxy, but in an exponential amount of gravity, and then they start to collect each other, and the black holes collect each other. And at some point, and remember, inside a black hole is not a singularity, it's neutron stars. They collect each other, they all come together, and the gravity is so immense, beyond all mathematics, really, that it collects everything. All the radiation, all the light left in the universe, everything gathers around this super, super, super massive black hole, and it becomes hot. Very, very hot. And then fusion starts. Now, so that's like, I forget, 200 or 300 million degrees or something it takes for fusion. I don't remember. But let's say it gets that hot. And then that gigantic ball of neutrons, it would get so hot, I don't know what it would be like. It might start like bubbling or something, And when that happens, all that radiation, all the electrons, whatever's left over, everything, I think the popping begins, these gigantic explosions, fusion explosions. And so it's like solar flares on the sun, only these will be fusion flares, each one the size of a galaxy, and and I don't think it's quite, they say it was just all hydrogen, maybe mostly hydrogen, but other material, I think, could be fused simultaneously. Like when a star explodes, it creates everything we know, magnesium, potassium, whatever, gold, silver, everything. So there might be some of that in there already, okay? And then these multiple explosions in every direction, there's the compression effect, right? So compression waves, boom, 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 boom. And that could explain outer galaxies going more quickly than inner galaxies. And then, if other things are fused in there besides just hydrogen, it could explain and these things are going out into individual explosions. Gravity starts to take effect almost immediately as these things are going outwards, and each one of these explosions could possibly form a galaxy, which gives galaxies a head start time-wise, which could also help explain why there's fully formed galaxies after 300 million years, when we thought it would take billions and billions of years for the hydrogen gas to form other molecules and blah, 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 right? So, okay, well, what did I leave out? I think it's a pretty damn good theory. I mean, I'm not a mathematician, and so I'm all up for feedback. Like, I might be just a stupid ass, but that's my vision. Yeah, and you can tell me where I'm wrong. Better yet, tell me that I'm right. Do the math. Let's write it in a paper, and let's win the Nobel Prize. I need the money. You can have all the mathematical glory. I need the money. Okay? Some of the money. 50%. So, whatever. That might be, I don't know. Shit, I always leave something out. I do these videos, and it's like, oh, I should have said this. I should have said that. So, anyway, that's kind of it, I think. I don't know what I left out. Like, share, subscribe. This is how the universe works today. And here on Earth, we need to vote for Kennedy. He's the only intelligent man with integrity, who's not bought off by corporate interest, and who wants to get the poison out of our food and our water and our air. He really wants to, make sure our vaccines are safe when we take them. And, so many things, man. He's a good guy. The Hudson River is it the Hudson? Used to catch on fire, and he cleaned it up. He's been an environmental lawyer for 40 years. He knows how the legal system works. He knows all the bad guys. Gonna get the money out of politics, gonna shut down all this criminal activity, buying off the CDC, the pharmaceutical companies buying everybody off. Let's change it. Kennedy's the only one that's really going to try to change it. My philosophy of life is the greater good. And I think Kennedy is for the greater good. We're on the same page there. And, yeah, so talk to you later.